Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Welcome back to another episode. Yep, this is episode 82. I know, episode 82. Never thought I would get this far. See if we get to 100, huh? Let's go for the old triple digits, I guess. Let's see if we can get there. So, got comic books for y'all this week. I know, right? Like, I've got comic books.
What?
Comic books. So, let me first by apologizing for not getting the episode uploaded when it was supposed to. Things got just crazy out of control this weekend, and we had to be like literally everywhere all at once, and it was just absolutely insane. And yeah, I totally ran out of time to finish reading my books, and didn't even get time to finish reading them last night. So I finished reading them tonight, and I got all my synopsis ready. I'm just, we're reviewing everything this week because it was all good. So, yeah. All right. Well, let's get started here. Huh? What do you say? Let's get started. Let's start with Oblivion Song, issue number 9. So, Nathan's convinced Ed to help him retrieve his device from the military before they can use it to make things worse. And by worse, well, we don't know what that means, but how can things possibly get any worse? But I'm sure if the military's involved, they can find a way to get up. So, but only if Nathan agrees to allow Ed to go back to Oblivion and to, just be left alone. So Nathan's got a plan to use his little transportation belts to pop in and out of Oblivion space. So they're going to pop into Oblivion, walk into the area where this building would be in our dimension, and then pop back into our dimension being inside the building. Seems like a pretty good, fail-safe, plan, right? Yeah. So, they, after some little bit of trial and error, Nathan manages to retrieve his device with the help of his girlfriend. And while Nathan's got plans to use the device to undo the connection to Oblivion, Ed's got a different agenda. So, yeah. Thank you. You're just being a little late on the cues tonight, dude. Just, keep it together, maybe. Thanks. All right. Yeah. I know. I'm always picking on the sound guy. Okay. All right. Let's move on to Hit Girl, issue number 10. Hit Girl's been one of my favorite books this year so far, and I'm really enjoying these short little arcs. And we start off with Hit Girl in Rome. And alas, poor jeweled skull. Hit Girl knows not why the ninja wanted you so bad. And I'm sure Shakespeare could have written that better. But, that's what we got. Yeah, I know. Actually, that would have been better with the trombone. There we go. Thank you. Total fail. But just give me one more. There we go. Because I shouldn't have done that. But anyway, the jeweled skull was actually meant for a woman named Gustina, who's some kind of crazy religious crime boss bitch. And she wants it back. And while Hit Girl wanders around Rome looking for clues, she notices a cat wearing a tiny little camera that's been watching her. And when she chases the cat into the Colosseum, there's the ninja woman waiting for her. Hit Girl attacks, but this ninja chick, she may not have the agenda that Hit Girl thinks she does. Or, maybe it's in a, one of those not so self-serving agendas. But the question is, does Hit Girl really care? I guess that's really the question. Hit Girl has been a really good series so far. You just really haven't gotten any of that mess, that usually comes with a series like this. And it's been a breath of fresh air. So let's move on to, let's do some DC, huh? How about Detective Comics issue number 992? So I don't know what it is with the Batman titles all of a sudden, but these team ups that Batman is doing with his villains is just it's it's bothering me. I know, right? Like I'm bothered by a Batman book. It, bear with me here for a minute, okay? Just bear with me here for a minute. So, Batman and Two-Face are battling the forces of Cobra. Yeah, Cobra. Yeah, I know. It sounds like some sort of lanky, janky G.I. Joe crossover, but no. Cobra is this terrorist group who's got planned a series of attacks on Gotham tonight, but Batman and Harvey managed to stop them at the museum. Katana and Black Lightning stopped them in their tracks at the train station. Thank you. Orphan and Batgirl, they deflated their plans to drop anthrax on the city from a blimp. Thank you. And let's see, we've got the Signal and Batwoman released the beast within at the zoo. I couldn't come up with another pun for the zoo thing. Just sorry, okay? Yeah, I know. You know, one of these days you're going to have to give me the laugh track. And, yeah. Never going to happen, is it? No. So. All right. So, but Batman finds out that there is something bigger going down, and they've got no time at all. So, you know, things are escalating quickly. But yeah, the evil forces of Cobra. That's Cobra with a K, so it's not to be confused with the G.I. Joe Cobra. So, let's move on to some Supergirl, issue number 24. I know it's been a little while since I've actually talked about Supergirl, and I don't talk about Supergirl as much as I used to, because Supergirl really for the last 20 issues has been so super angsty, and it's just not been my thing. It really hasn't. A lot of the earlier Supergirl issues for this run have been very so. But Kara has come to a dive bar, and she's looking for answers, because she's in this search for, you know, how Rogol, Zol, and this axe, and the destruction of Krypton. And in the course of asking questions, some of the patrons, they pick a fight with Supergirl, and of course they don't know who Supergirl is, and they don't know that she's such a badass now. And of course, she's more than willing to accommodate. Well, as, you know, the fight progresses, she manages to run out of solar juice, but she manages to pull out Rogol's axe, and now everybody is scared of her and willing to cooperate.
What?
I know. So apparently everybody is aware of who Rogol is. They will know what that axe is, and they're just scared to death of it. But, you know, but she gets no real answers. But she ends up picking up a hitchhiker who, for some reason, looks like a green version of Star-Lord from Marvel Comics. I don't know where they got that from. It was really weird. And as soon as I saw the guy, I was like, oh my god, that's just like freaking Peter Quill from Guardians of the Galaxy. I was like, I don't know. But as the two make their way toward Krypton, or where it used to be, it seems like the trip that might have been a mistake. You know, I don't think that, she should definitely not have gone there for her sake, really. So, yeah, like I said, I'm interested to see where they continue to go with this, and I'm hoping that they're really going to make Supergirl take her away from that whole angst thing that she was doing, and make her into this strong, centered badass that she's really supposed to be. You know, even bring her back to the angry teenager Supergirl. But you know, I want her to just, I don't know. I feel like she's not growing up. I feel like Supergirl took a step backwards. But anyway, let's move on to some good stuff, huh? Let's move on to some good stuff. How about some Darth Vader, huh? Yeah, you guys like Darth Vader, huh? Yeah. So this is Darth Vader issue number 23. So this Moman, an ancient Sith Lord, who's, I guess, part of his Force soul, as it were. I don't know the term. has been bound to this helmet, and Vader is getting people to wear the helmet so that he can help him to build a castle that will allow Vader to tune with the dark side and channel his energy so they can open a door to the other side. Because, well, gee, I wonder why Vader would want to open a door to the other side. Maybe because he's and a little bit, but also because, of course, she's looking for Padme, which is still completely cuckoo. She's dead. She's gone, dude. You're screwed, okay? You screwed the pooch. Let it go. No, he's never going to let it go. We know that. But 8 times they build this castle, and 8 times when they try to open this door, the castle gets destroyed. And the interesting part is that each time the castle is destroyed, Vader kills the person wearing the mask and then puts it on another person. So, I mean, yeah. Cut it. Yeah, that laugh track is too long. We need to do something about that. Anyway, that's another thing. But with the 9th build, Vader is successful in opening the door, but the locals on Mustafar have mounted an attack on Vader's castle, and so of course he's drawn away and not able to step through the door or call to Padme or whatever it is he's looking to do. And when he goes off to deal with the locals, this Sith Lord Momin reveals his true intentions. Yes, evil intentions. What? From a Sith Lord. Yes. Alright. So, let's move on to some Domino, issue number 8. That's right. Alright, so Domino and the girls have opened up this case that they stole, and inside is Morbius the living vampire. After trying to kill each other, Morbius convinces them that he was actually trying to stop a plot by the vampires to destroy humanity. And he's like, I need your help. And he's like, I'm really weak. Would you mind if I fed off one of you? And Domino's like, sure, feed off me. And it's one of the only times I've ever been jealous of Morbius the living vampire. Excuse me. Okay, so now that anyway, so they all joined together to stop the vampires, and they soon managed to track the vampires to a beach off the coast of Barcelona, and not just any beach, but a nude beach where Outlaw catches a glimpse of some guy's quote saddle gullet. I'll leave that up to your imaginations. So the team dive into the ocean after these vampires, or as they call them, merpires. Merpires? Merpires? No, that's not funny. Oh, come on, that's not fun. That totally deserves a thank you. Merpires. So, down there in the depths, they managed to defeat these merpires, and when they get back to the surface, Domino allows Morbius to leave. But it seems like the mission might not be over just yet. That was the wrong sound effect, you dunce. Oh my god. No. Leave it. Just let it be, okay? In the coming weeks, I'll be auditioning for a new soundboard operator, so if you would like to apply, please email me at... So, anyway, let's move on to Cosmic Ghost Rider, issue number 5. So, this grown-up Punisher version of Thanos has come back in time, even forward in time? I don't know. You step through a time portal. I don't even know where are we in the past, the present, the future? I don't even know anymore. But he wants Frank and his younger self to join him. And he has taken the Earth and subjugated it as his ruler. He's like Punisher, Thanos, and I rule Earth now and stuff. But Frank isn't having any of it and attacks Thanos with a giant Kamehameha, because let's be fair, that's what it was. He reaches back with both hands, creates a ball of light, and shoots it right in Thanos' face. Yeah, it was blue. So I'm sorry, but a Kamehameha. I just there's got to be copyright on that. He didn't say it, so I guess it didn't violate anything. But anyway, Frank then, of course, gives Thanos a penance blast, which I didn't know he could do. But hey, comic books, right? And he finally destroys Thanos in that he basically obliterate and just disintegrates his entire body, crushing his skull in his bare hands. And, all Thanos is dust in the wind. And I'm sorry, I won't do that again. Thank you. So, Frank decides that pretty much no matter what he's going to do, Thanos is just going to turn out to be Thanos. So he has really one of two options to make. And he can either kill baby Thanos, as he should have done from the beginning, but then we wouldn't have gotten this really awesome comic book with all of these hijinks. So he decides he's going to go back in time and put baby Thanos back in his crib as if he had never left. So, thus endeth this chapter for the Cosmic Ghost Rider, and no more solo Cosmic Ghost Rider series. Yeah, I know. I'm like all beat up over it too. However, fear not, because the Cosmic Ghost Rider will return in Guardians of the Galaxy. So, yeah. Alright, so let's talk about another comic book before we get to the last big one of the week. Superman issue number 5. Wow. Issue number 5? I don't think that was issue number 5. Pretty sure that was issue number 25. I don't know. I wrote that down wrong. No, it was issue number 25. So, no, I'm sorry. They started over when Bendis took over. I wrote that down right. That's issue 5. We started over with 1, and now we're on issue 5. I don't know where I'm going. Yeah, wake up, dude. Wake up. Now, just slap me a few times. So, that's enough. Alright, so Zod has been having visions of Rogol Zol coming to his new Krypton and destroying it. So he takes off toward Earth to find Superman to get answers. Because, Superman obviously must know who Rogol Zol is, right? So when he arrives, he finds Adam Strange and a tiny little basketball-sized Earth where the Earth should be. And while the two kind of try to figure out, why is the Earth so tiny, it all of a sudden decides to grow back to full size. Zod and Adam go track down Ray Palmer, and Zod has Ray shoot him with the Phantom Zone generator to send him to the Phantom Zone, where Superman and Zol have been squaring off back and forth. So Superman's kind of, figured out what Zol's deal is. Why he's so pissed off all the time and why he hates Kryptonians, I don't know. We don't find out because Zod smashes himself right down in the middle of the two of them, and now it's time for some Zod vengeance. That's right. So Rogol Zol he's got it coming to him. Where Superman would show restraint and mercy, Zod will not. Because he is Zod. And you will kneel before Zod. That's right. So, okay. Let us talk about our final book for the week. And so, Uncanny X-Men issue number 1. This book was actually quite large. That's what she said. Thank you. But it felt like it was essentially 2 comic books in one. So we're going to talk about Uncanny X-Men, but we're going to do it in kind of 2 parts. So we'll start off with the actual Uncanny X-Men story, and Multiple Man is looking for Kitty. And of course, he's come to the school and has to attack everybody in order to look for Kitty, right? Makes sense, right? Well, actually, this is a vision that Jean is having. And she's like, where's Kitty? And the other X-Men are like, she's not here. She's actually headed to North Carolina. On the way to North Carolina, Kitty mysteriously disappears while flying the Blackbird jet, which causes it to crash. And that leaves the rest of her team to defend themselves against the Mutant Liberation Front. In Africa, for whatever reason, Storm and Beast are investigating some kind of lake that appears out of nowhere. I'm sure that will probably come in at some point where it will, but it's like, what? Like we're just gonna be like, oh yeah, no, Storm and Beast are off in Africa investigating this lake that appeared out of absolutely nowhere. Why did you throw that in there? I was like, whatever. So Polaris X-23 and Nightcrawler come to the rest of Kitty's team's rescue, and in Manhattan, Jean has taken a team to kind of keep an eye on an anti-protest mutant. Boy, wouldn't that be interesting? A mutant with anti-protest powers. No, that's stupid. No. Hey, give me the fail. Yep. No, the fail, not the fault. Not even anywhere near each other on the board. Whatever. All right. So they're kind of looking to, I guess, kind of, make sure things don't get out of control. But wouldn't things get out of control if they figure out there are a bunch of mutants amongst them anyway? I guess. I don't know. But Multiple Man shows up to this protest and seemingly attacks the speaker, Senator Ashton Allen. But when that happens, Jean and her team intervene, and the senator disappears anyway. And of course, everybody thinks that Jean had something to do with it. I seem to remember this happening once before, where Jean was involved in a scandal involving government officials. Oh, that's right. X-Men Red, issue number 1. That's right. I forget. But nevertheless, this is already shaping up to be, one heck of a story. I mean, you've got just so many things happening all at once. You feel like you're a little bit overloaded, but things, you show how things escalate incredibly quickly. And then, I'm not going to spoil the end, but, I mean, I feel like Uncanny X-Men, and this escalated, but if this were a roller coaster, I think that this probably it would be the point at which they tell you to hold up your hand so they can put the little waist bar down in front of you. Like, it hasn't even left the station yet. So, yeah. All right. So, let's now talk about the little second comic book that actually happens in the back of the book. And there's actually 3 different stories in the back of this book, and they call these stories What Tomorrow Brings. And the first story follows Bishop hunting Dark Beast, but of course he can't catch Dark Beast, and instead he time slides into an area where he actually finds Sugar Man, who is killed just shortly after Bishop is knocked unconscious from behind. So, yeah, that's right. Bishop took a little backdoor action. So, yeah. All right. Let's see. The second story actually follows Jean in a coffee shop having I guess kind of a discussion or conversation with this old woman who wants to get her opinion on mutant rights and things of that nature. And the woman leaves just before this attack by these people who are, I guess, seemingly controlled by somebody else. I guess people that shouldn't have mutant abilities all of a sudden have them, and they're attacking Jean, and so yeah, it was really weird. Bring in the third story, which was following Armor and Anoli in the sewers looking for some kind of sewer monster, and instead find Dark Beast, aka our sewer monster. And while trying to chase Dark Beast, they managed to come up out of a manhole in the battle that is currently going on just outside the coffee shop with Jean and these people who have powers for whatever reason. And a bunch of the other X-Men have arrived. And after the battle is all said and done, Jean looks down, and the old woman that she was having a conversation with in the coffee shop is lying there dead. Or is she? So, yeah, it seems like we are catching a glimpse of our new big bad for the X-Men in our Uncanny X-Men story. And I wasn't sure if I was going to read these 3 stories at the back. I figured it'd probably be something just like stupid and yeah, like it would just be trash that they were going to introduce, here's Uncanny X-Men #1 all over again. Like we're just going to introduce a bunch of junk at the end. And but it was actually really cool, 3 cool stories, and I feel like they're going to tie in somehow to what's going on in Uncanny X-Men. Kind of like the lake appearing out of absolute freaking nowhere. So that is it for this week's comic books, you guys. I thank you so very much for listening, and until next week. Yeah? Oh. No, no, disconnect it. Because the mic is still on.